It's very easy to think in absolutes, but very often it's more healthy and practical to think in terms of spectrums. I'm Colin Wright, and you're watching Consider This. Now, it's very satisfying to be able to think and act upon information that seems like it's very black and white. And this is because our brain is fond of heuristics. Heuristics are mental shortcuts, things that allow us to, rather than fixating on a bunch of details, allows us to make decisions very quickly. And like the lizard part of our brain, that very primitive part of our brain, loves to be able to label things and then make a quick decision about it based on information that we heard secondhand or experiences that we've had in the past. And though this can be reliable in a lot of cases, we know if we touch a fire, it will be hot. And so our brain has the shortcut heuristic of don't touch the fire. But it's not always as simple as that, and in a lot of cases, if we act in accordance only with this black and white thinking, we miss out on a great deal of valuable gray area in between. There's a lot that could be said, and a lot that I have said and written about this in the past, but what I want to focus on now is the idea of spectrums when it comes to our own self-identification and things that we bring into our lives. We tend to have an all-or-nothing approach to new things, new beliefs or new diets or new workout regimens that we bring into our lives. And typically, this is actually not the best way to change our habits or to change our routines and rituals. Most ideally, we stair-step our way into these things. There's a great deal of research that shows that the best way to go into a fast, if you just don't eat or eat very little for a couple of days or a week, is not to stuff yourself the days before and after the fast, but rather to slowly build up to it and eat a little bit less each day leading up to the fast, and then after the fast to stair-step back up. And that same methodology, that same approach can be used with just about anything, and it is typically healthier the same way that it is for a fast. Because if you go for extremes, if you go from black to white, then it's very, very easy to yo-yo back and forth, to get very excited about starting a new diet, and then you just jump right into it, and your body's not used to it, your routines and habits are not built around it, you're not psychologically prepared, all of these new feelings and these new, the way that your body feels changes very suddenly. It changes literally overnight. And that's not the best way to change yourself. Much more ideally, you do stair-step and you allow yourself to change over time to the point where you might not even notice the difference, except when you take a step back and look at the big picture and say, oh, I actually feel healthier. Or when you slow down 3 or 4 months later and say, oh, you know, this workout routine is really working. I'm seeing the results that I want to see. It's much sexier, of course, to get instant gratification or to desire instant gratification. We don't want a workout routine that will take us a year to get where we want to be. We want the workout routine that will give us kick-ass abs next week. But unfortunately, although maybe you could get results like that, likely they won't stick around if you do, and it'll potentially cause bodily harm and potentially permanent bodily injury if you do something that dramatic. And the same is true whether this is like a new faith or a new diet or a new workout plan that you're pulling into your life. To so quickly jump into cold water that way is a shock to the system. It's certainly not as sexy to stair-step your way into a major change, but it is something that's a lot more sustainable. Extremes of all kinds are actually very easy because all you have to do is jump off a cliff, whereas incremental changes, a balanced approach to things, slowly climbing down the mountain is a lot more sustainable, a lot healthier, and typically at the end something that you'll feel a lot better about. Because it wasn't some kind of gimmick that allowed you to accidentally win the lottery in terms of the abs that you got. It's something that you worked for, something that you remember each day that you worked on it, and that you can look back and say, wow, I did this. What else can I do? Be wary of absolutes. Whether that absolute is somebody or your lizard brain telling you that somebody of a certain demographic is dangerous because they're all dangerous, or whether you're trying to move from black to white in terms of your workout routine overnight. be very, very wary. These are things that are very satisfying to a certain primal part of our brains, but it's not something that is healthy for somebody living in modern society with the science that we have and with the societal expectations that we have and with the, frankly, ability that we have to live such a long duration. You'll be much more satisfied, much happier, and have a much better understanding of yourself and what you're capable of if you choose to experience the full range of the spectrum and to enjoy every single shade of gray along the way. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up like or a subscribe would be amazing. You can find me elsewhere on the internet at Colin is my name. I'm pretty much everywhere from Snapchat to Periscope to Vine to Instagram, all over the place. You can find out more about me at colin.io. There you can see a full list of my books and some of my other projects, including my podcast, which is called Let's Know Things, and you can find out more about that at letsknowthings.com. Don't know how to end this. Yeah. Don't know how to end it. Did it wrong.